listen to the engine roar. My broken house behind me and good things ahead. A girl named Kathy wants a little of my time. 6 cylinders underneath the crashing and kicking. I listen to the engine whine. I'm gonna make it through this year if it kills me. I'm gonna make it through this year if it kills me. Played video games in a drunken haze. I was 17 years young. Hurt my knuckles punching the machines. The taste of Scotch rich on my tongue. And then Kathy showed up and we hung out, trading swigs from the bottle, all bitter and clean, locking eyes, holding hands, twin high maintenance machines. I'm gonna make it through this year if it kills me. I am gonna make it through this year if it kills me. I drove home in the California dusk. I could feel the alcohol inside of me. Picture the look on my stepfather's face, ready for the bad things to come. I downshifted as I pulled into the driveway. The motor screaming out, stuck in second gear. The scene ends badly, as you might imagine, in a cavalcade of anger and fear. They will be feasting and dancing in Jerusalem next year. I am gonna make it through this year if it kills me. I am gonna make it through this year if it kills me.
Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. My name is Kathy Brown, and I'm your service leader this morning. In keeping with Hanukkah and the idea of small miracles, I'd like to share a couple of readings for our call to worship. The first is by Richard Wagamese. I live for miracles in my life these days, the ones that carve out a small space of peace where before there was only a jumble of resentment, fear, and doubt. The ones that happen from choosing to live the right way, like coming to understand that forgiveness isn't about gaining a release from others, it's about gaining a release from ourselves. If I release my hold on what binds me, I can walk free and unencumbered, but I have to embrace the resentment, fear, and doubt to gain that. I have to own them, hold them again, so that I can learn to let them go. In that letting go is the miracle. And my second reading is from Albert Einstein. A human being is part of a whole called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. We experience ourselves, our thoughts and feelings as something separated from the rest. A kind of optical delusion of our consciousness. This delusion is a prison, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for those few who are nearest to us. Our task is to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circles of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. When we gather together, we light a chalice to remind us that we are entering into sacred space and time together. Let this remind us of our connection, not just to Unitarian Universalists, but in the words of Einstein, to all living creatures and the whole of nature. Please join me in our unison chalice lighting words. May this flame be our light of friendship and love.
Number 221, light one candle. Here we go. Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for their terrible sacrifice, justice and freedom demand. And light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in, that anger won't tear us apart. Light one candle to bring us together with peace as the song in our hearts. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly? We keep it alive in that flame. What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? Have we come this far always believing that justice would somehow prevail? This is the burden and this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears.
Anybody who's interested in the context for that song should read the UU Tuesday article this week, because there'll be a bit of a backstory to where that song came from and how it ended up in our hymnal. Our story today is called Hanukkah Bear, and it is written by Eric Kimmel and illustrated by Mike Wanutka. Old Bear awoke from his winter sleep. He poked his nose outside his den. What was that? Something to eat. Old Bear's empty stomach rumbled. He shook himself all over, then lumbered out of his den to follow the delicious smell. Baba Braina took the last potato latke from the pan and put it in the oven with all the others. Baba Braina was 97 years old and did not hear or see as well as she used to, but she still made the best potato latkes in the village. And every year at Hanukkah time, all her friends came to her house on the edge of the forest. How they loved those latkes. Baba Braina always made plenty, but tonight she made twice as many as usual. Tonight was special. Tonight, the rabbi was coming. Baba Braina hurried to get ready. Just then, she heard a thump on the door. She opened it. Rabbi, you're here early. How nice to see you. Grumph, growled Old Bear. Happy Hanukkah to you too. Please come in. Old Bear walked into the house. I'll take your coat, Rabbi. My, how thick it is. Baba Braina tugged at Old Bear's fur. Old Bear roared, "Rawr!" Oh, you want to keep your coat on? Well, that's all right. It is chilly in here. Old Bear's nose twitched. Thank you, Rabbi. How kind it is to you to say that. The latkes will taste even better than they smell. Old Bear followed his nose to the oven. Roar! Rabbi, I'm surprised at you. You know we don't eat until we light the menorah. Roar! That's all right. I know you were teasing. I'll light the candles. Will you say the blessings? Roof. Baba Braina struck a match and lit the shamus candle. Then she lit the one for first night. Old Bear muttered and growled, who has kept us alive, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this season. Oh, Rabbi, you say the blessings so beautifully. Baba Braina sat down at the table. Old Bear sat beside her. Let's play dreidel. We'll use these nuts. Old Bear cracked one with his teeth. Rabbi, you won't have any nuts for the game if you eat them. Growled Old Bear. Don't worry, I have plenty of nuts if you need more. Baba Braina spun the dreidel. It stopped on the letter Gimel. I win! Baba Braina swept the nuts into her apron. Roar! Old Bear roared. Don't be angry, Rabbi. It's only a game. She tossed him a nut. Old Bear begged for more. No, Rabbi, no more nuts. It's time for dinner. Baba Braina opened the oven door and took out a platter piled high with steaming potato latkes. Old Bear sniffed the latkes as she set them on the table. Do you prefer sour cream or jam? Baba Braina asked. Roar! Old Bear growled. Jam, I thought so. Baba Braina smeared 5 big latkes with jam and stacked them on Old Bear's plate. Old Bear gobbled them down. Baba Braina laughed. You should use a fork. You have jam all over your beard. She wet a towel and wiped Old Bear's face. I must tell you, Rabbi, you eat like a bear. Roar! I'm hungry like a bear, so I eat like one. I can see that, Baba Braina said. Old Bear ate and ate until the latkes were gone. He felt drowsy. His head flopped on Baba Braina's lap. Rabbi, you're sleepy. Who wouldn't be sleepy after such a meal? All the latkes are gone. It's time to go home. But before you leave, I have a Hanukkah present for you. Baba Braina took a red scarf from her knitting basket. She wrapped it around Old Bear's neck. I made it myself. Rrr. Old Bear licked Baba Braina's face. Baba Braina blushed. Oh, Rabbi, at my age. Old Bear shuffled to the door. Roof, he growled as he walked out into the night. Good night to you too, Rabbi. Happy Hanukkah. Baba Braina was washing dishes when she heard another knock. I wonder who that is. Shalom, Brother Baba Braina. All her friends stood at the door wishing her a happy Hanukkah. Shalom, everybody, Baba Braina said. How nice to see you. I'm sorry, I don't have any more latkes. The rabbi came by. He ate them all. Baba Braina, don't you recognize me? It was the rabbi. The rabbi couldn't have eaten your latkes, everyone said. He's been with us at the synagogue. Baba Braina rubbed her forehead. Something strange is happening, Rabbi. I think there's an imposter going around. He looks like you. He talks like you. He even has your beard. Just then the children cried, Look at the floor, bear tracks. A bear, and I thought it was just the rabbi. Baba Braina had to sit down. Then soon she began to giggle. That was a very clever bear, or a very foolish Baba Braina. Oh, well, let the bear have a happy Hanukkah. I had a happy Hanukkah, and so will you, dear friends. Bring some potatoes from the cellar. Fetch my grater and bowl. Everyone has to help. You too, Rabbi. If we all work together, we'll soon have latkes for everybody. And deep in the forest, Old Bear slumbered in his den. His stomach was full of potato latkes. The warm woolen scarf was wrapped snugly around his neck. Pleasant dreams, Old Bear, and happy Hanukkah. the end of her story.
Happy Hanukkah. I like that story too. Thank you. Time has come for us to take a moment for body, mind, and spirit to rest for a moment in contemplation or prayer. I invite you to find a place that's comfortable, relax, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to be. This morning's words for contemplation come to us from John Greenleaf Whittier, titled The Joy of Giving. Somehow, not only for the holidays, but all the long year through, the joy that you give to others is the joy that comes back to you. And the more you spend in blessing the poor and the lonely and the sad, the more of your heart's possessing returns to make you glad. So, thank you for that. That was lovely. Here we are in the middle of Hanukkah. As you know, the 8-day Jewish celebration of religious freedom won by the defeat of Greek armies that sacked Jerusalem, defiled the temple, and extinguished the sacred lamps. After the Jews rebuilt, the temple was rededicated, but as they went to prepare for that celebration, they found they only had enough sacred lamp oil to last one day. And miracle of miracles, that lamp burned for 8 days, and the people rejoiced with celebration and feasting and gratitude for their return to Jerusalem. They were overjoyed to once again be in the home of their faith and free to worship as their traditions required. There are times when I feel like the reality of living with COVID is a bit like waiting to land at a busy airport. You know you're going to get to your destination eventually, but for now, everyone's stuck in a holding pattern, shut up in a confined space, with limited options for doing much of anything except waiting it out. Now, perhaps the only advantage of being stuck on that plane is that you have other people around. I don't know. With COVID, we don't even have the distracting pleasure of other folks' company, people we can commiserate with, and we would have that on a plane with our fellow travelers at least. So I hope that during this time you've gotten creative with your energy and your creativity. I hope you've found ways to be in touch with others and keep your mind and soul engaged. And I'm also willing to bet that there are moments when the whole situation just seems tedious and monotonous and almost without a visible end in sight. Although their vaccine is out there, that shall be a game changer. But let me try to link these two realities. I'm betting that there were times during the Jews' conflict with the Greek armies that it seemed that it would all never end. I'll bet that there were moments when they just wanted to throw in the towel against what probably seemed like unbeatable odds. I'm sure their despair at the loss of their holy temple and the seat of their faith was truly devastating. And they too were probably exhausted and dispirited and at times totally fed up. And yet they persevered. And yet we persevere. And when the day finally came that they triumphed over their oppressors, their celebration and gratitude focused on the relatively small miracle of the oil that lasted longer than anyone thought it should or would. I think that's an important aspect of how we get through our confrontation with the realities of COVID, too. We have to find out and maybe even create those small miracles that will help us renew our spirits, brighten our outlook, and restore our faith in life. Asher Gotterman, who's the founder of the Transcend Recovery Community, says that we spend a lot of time focusing on the grand, impressed by big gestures and accomplishments. And when we talk about miracles, it's to describe something extraordinary, not the everyday. He goes on to say, but what if we gave a nod to seemingly ordinary everyday miracles and understood scientifically proven but wonder-evoking things as miracles? Perhaps then miracles would be less of an intellectual versus spiritual debate, or rather an opportunity to simply have more peace, to live more harmoniously in a culturally and philosophically diverse world. The most important parts of life don't make big headlines or generate memes. They are stories of unexpected generosity, of a laugh shared or a story told, forgiving and being forgiven, healing from trauma, friendship, the birth of a child, the very fact of our unique existence in human form. A sunrise or sunset, a thunderstorm or clouds, these are the things that catch us in the moment and lead us to experience delight and wonder and inspiration. Often our experience of those moments call us to want to be better people. When we take the opportunity to be appreciative and to be grateful for these simple miracles, our lives are richer and more fulfilled. They help us remember that life is about more than our own existence. And Goderman encourages us to find this place of gratitude in service of nurturing our passion for purposeful living. Robert Emmons, who is a professor at the University of California, Davis, says, gratefulness is a knowing awareness that we are the recipients of goodness. And we are all the recipients of goodness, even in the midst of this pandemic, even when life is not going the way we perhaps hoped that it would, even in our most challenging moments. Goodness and kindness are still with us. Now, I know it might be a bit harder sometimes to see it these days. Sometimes it's challenging for me to realize I can't see the smiles of strangers that are hidden behind their masks. And then I realize, but even those masks are a gesture of goodness and kindness. It is our sign to one another that we honor the value of each other's lives. And we've had some very recent examples of the goodness and kindness that are demonstrated by the generosity of this congregation. Did you know that our donations to Eva Rothwell came in at over $2,000 of gift cards and warm winter woolies? And did you know that we are now very close to providing $6,000 to Sacagawea Community Housing for the residents to enjoy Christmas? It's a wonder. It's a miracle. It's awesome. And I know that the opposite of that is that the current reality of living with this pandemic gets tiring and dispiriting and depressing. I know that it takes, for me at least, a great deal more energy to accomplish day-to-day living with the restrictions and the safeguards that really need to be in place. In those moments when we feel like it's tedious, we can get cynical or resentful, downhearted. After all, we don't have any idea of when life will once again return to normal. And most of us, I think, have serious questions about whether returning to normal is even a desired end, because for many people we know that former normal wasn't really an acceptable life anyway, let alone an ideal. There is lots of work to be done to move our society closer to resembling a beloved community. And yet we live every day amidst miracles and wonders. To maintain our equanimity, to remain hopeful and engaged, to keep our souls enlivened, we need to open our hearts and minds and our eyes to those small miracles that happen every day. The giggle of a small person, the love of our pets and our love for them, the sun coming up and the day unfolding, socks that keep our toes warm on cold days, the invention of the snooze alarm, friends, the ability to reach out to others and help make their days a brighter one, breathing. Not long ago, at Smile Cookie Time at Tim Hortons, I was going through the drive-thru. I have a small addiction to iced caps. As I got to the window to pay, the clerk handed me not only my drink, but a cookie. I hadn't ordered a cookie, but she told me that the fellow in front of me had bought it and wanted her to wish me a happy day. Wow, that was so nice. And that fellow made my day, and he made me cry for the price of a simple cookie. I was so touched by his kindness, and I was so grateful for his acknowledgement of my existence. I doubt that he'll ever know how much that small gesture of generosity meant to me, but I know, and I have passed on his gift more than once. Psychology Today reports that gratitude makes us happier and promotes physical and mental well-being. Yeah, we knew that. They go on to say that random acts of kindness percolate into the lives of others and incentivize them to replicate the goodwill many times over. They've done the research, and the research shows that the recipient of a kind deed is unconsciously motivated to pay it forward as many as 5 times. Wow, that's a lot of generosity and kindness and goodwill. So here's my challenge to you. Find the miracles in your life every day. Slow down enough. Look outside yourself enough. Open your heart enough to catch those miracles in progress and treasure them for the gifts that they are. Then, go about creating small miracles for others. Be kind. Be generous. Be open to possibility. Appreciate every single moment. Make meaning for yourself and for others. And even if you don't celebrate it, happy Hanukkah. Because celebrating miracles, and especially the small ones, is a very happy thing to do. And all of us could use a lot more of those happy moments right now, especially this year. Thanks.
Number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
The diction this morning was written by Hugh McDermott, a Scottish poet, and it's called "O Ease My Spirit." O ease my spirit increasingly of the load of my personal limitations and the riddling differences between you and I, with a more constant insight into the fundamental similarity of all activity. and quicken me to the gloriously and terribly illuminating integration of the physical and the spiritual, till I feel how easily I could put my hand gently on the whole round world as on my sweetheart's head and draw it to me. Our benediction.
It's not that unusual when everything is beautiful. It's just another ordinary miracle today. The sky knows when it's time to snow. Don't need to teach a seed to grow. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
Life is like a gift, they say, wrapped up for you every day.
Open up and find a way to give some of your own.
Isn't it remarkable? Like every time a raindrop falls,
It's just another ordinary miracle today. Birds and winter have their fling, but always make it home by spring. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
when you wake up every day, please don't throw your dreams away.
Hold them close to your heart, 'cause we're all a part of the ordinary miracle. Ordinary miracle. Do you want to see a miracle? It seems so exceptional that things just work out after all. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Sun comes up and shines so bright and disappears again at night. It's just another ordinary miracle today. It's just another ordinary miracle today.